approaching, obviously, and over there getting those jump shots up. Not asking if he's coming back this season, we know what that is, but when you see him and the progress that he's made this year, just can you talk about the work that you've seen him put in personally behind the scenes that maybe everybody else hasn't seen?
Yeah, I mean, I think he attacks the rehab like he attacks his game. Hardest workers I've ever seen, you know, that's behind the scenes. You know, the resiliency, like the stick with it mentality when you're going through a rehab like that is it's impressive. He's like I said, it just kind of mirrors his work ethic on the court, like what he's done off the court. So very, very impressive.
Bradley Beal, obviously back-to-back 50-point games.
Yeah.
Also back-to-back losses. How do you approach this?
We haven't found a way to slow him down, so it's not like, you know, we have some magic formula. He's playing great. Sure they've lost a couple in a row, but I think you got to give him a lot of credit. I don't think anybody thought Washington would be in the playoff chase, and here they are. They're in the conversation. Great job by Scott Brooks and his staff, but big credit to Bradley. You know, big credit. He's playing great, and he plays both ends too. You know, defends. Impressive.
When dealing with an elite offensive talent like that, you guys found a way to slow down Devin Booker when he got here. Are you going to kind of lean on that experience to deal with him?
I mean, every night now in the NBA, you're like, there's some guy you got to, it seems like, yeah, and they're elite guys like Bradley. Yeah, no, I agree with that. So we'll throw different guys at him. We'll throw different defenses at him like we've done in the past. I know we can't give up 74 points in a half. But, you know, again, we got to figure that one out. And you know, our defense has been great, quite honestly. So, but disappointed that we had a half like that.
What do you think you got away from last night?
You know, I think focus. I don't. You know, there was a lot of focus things. You know, we're supposed to switch something. We did it 2 out of 3 sometimes. You know, we were supposed to do, you know, white to post. We go front to post, and we did it 4 out of 6 times instead of 6 out of 6. So in this league, it's like, you know, you pay for the smallest mistakes, and I thought we made a lot of focus, just not focused. You know, closing out hard to a guy we shouldn't close out to. You know, and he drives by. It's like, well, why are you closed out to him like that? So we had a film session today. We talked through it. It's good now. You know, we've gotten to the point with the group where it's becoming more of like a round table. You know, and that's having DJ and Garrett, and they're participating a lot in film, which I've really going more and more towards that model because those guys have so much to add.
In terms of, you mentioned Garrett last night. Would you say that was one of his better games of the season? Yeah. Maybe his best. He just came out there.
He's kind of an X factor when he's going to defend, but when he makes shots, you know, it helps our offense so much. He's an X factor for us offensively.
Kenny, how much are you looking at the standings? I guess you guys are a game and a half over Orlando for 8th, and I'm sure a lot of teams want to avoid that spot to face the Bucks.
I don't want to play Toronto or Milwaukee. Like, I think the push for us is to get in.
Right.
Like that's I really have so much respect for Toronto. I think I think, you know, I said I think they're a championship contender, like the Bucks are. And you can say whatever for the teams after that, but especially if Gasol's healthy, you don't want to play them. So for us, that doesn't really matter. We are not trying to jockey for position. We are trying to get in the dance, you know, and then perform well.
So when you're looking at trying to just get into the dance, and you're talking about having micro focus issues within the game, do you have to reassess the macro focus issues too? Because it is that point in the season where you do look at, all right, you're 1 game up, 1 game down, you're in, you're out, and 1 or 2 games it could come
I think
back
we are aware. You know, I you know, it's almost like the unspoken word or the elephant in the room. We all know these guys. They follow you guys. They understand. So I don't, you know, which is great about being a pro coach. You don't have to, like, you know, write it down or write it on the chalkboard. Playoffs with exclamation points. It's like, man, we're pros. We know what at stake. We know what each game means going forward. I told the guys that this is an exciting time because there are teams that have nothing to play for right now. We're in that mix where we're playing for something. And he said, well, what's the big deal? Well, we went a long time without having that. So that excitement is and that's why that rhetoric next year. It's like no. It's like this is exciting for us, for this group, for this organization right now to compete, to play for something more important.
What'd you make of the way Mo Bamba played last night and his impact on the game?
Good. He's improving. I think protecting the rim, made that big corner three in the first half. Like he's a modern day center. He can stretch it and he can protect the rim. Those guys are become extremely valuable.
Yeah.
It's when he gets stronger, like they have a lot of him, Isaac, Fultz, and they've been drafted in the lottery, so but they have a lot of talent. So and then they have a nice mix of vets with them. I have and they're well coached. They're you could say that was a bad loss last time. I said that I gave credit to Orlando. I think they're a good team.
Lastly,
you mentioned Washington being just on the outside looking in right now. Does that make it that much more important to
Sure.
2-game swing?
Sure, man. It's and it's much like Orlando. They're came off a tough loss. They've come off 2 tough losses. We came off a tough loss. It's like you look at the schedule, man. It's starting with Washington. Then Atlanta's playing better. Collins is playing better. Man, this league is unforgiving. So, but I think, like you said, it's going to be our level of focus. I think we are focused. Like I feel good. I feel good about the group. Like it's not a group that's teetering on. Oh man, this is going to fall off. It's like, man, we're in a good place. We're playing well. We got good guys. We got a good system. So things should work out. But you're nervous. It's like you don't want it to fall off that cliff, which drives us, which motivates us. Like I saw a game last night. Like it motivates us. Like man, we're all like in the locker room. Like man, we know we let it slip, and we want to get it back, and we will get it back.
Lastly, tough news out of Philly with Ben Simmons' injury. You've played that team with Joel Embiid and no Simmons. You played that team with Simmons and no Joel Embiid. Is there a version of that team that you would rather play, like with Joel Embiid, no Simmons, or with Simmons and no Embiid? Or
It's
how do
tough.
you approach them?
It seems like when one of those guys is out, they kick our tail. So it's like, I think I would not want to play them in the playoffs just because of their physicality. For us, the matchup from their physical standpoint really tough. So,
is there a playoff matchup that you see that's like, okay, that's a team that we would like to see?
Real Madrid. Even them, I'm not sure I want to play them either. So it's
No, that's good.
Thanks, Kenny.
good.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
You can put your hat